Hey, friendos, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw. More but better.
More but better. See, it works. It's
nah,
a good name.
Man, it's overrun.
More but better.
Until I hop on the Envato marketplace, or I could just grab the lava thing that I have and then change that to more but better.
More but better.
But then we also have to slice out that little piece of Triple H saying more but better. It's a whole process.
It is a process, but everything's going to be a process.
So whose DX tape was that?
I think it was Big Jeff's.
It was or was it mine?
I don't
remember.
I don't remember either.
I should text Big Jeff and ask if it was his and if he still has it. I'm going to do that right now.
All right.
Live.
Do.
You got new patrons, man. I wonder if they're here in chat. Trevor Larson. And do you have like a son named Trevor Larson?
No.
And meet the perfect 10,000 Ty McGee.
Welcome. Thank
you. Anyways.
Thank you.
Fun show today.
Yeah.
I like when we have a bunch of bullshit to talk about.
Yeah.
A bunch of nonsense bullshit.
Yeah, that's largely what this episode was.
That's fun.
Save for the exciting news that Chyna's finally getting into the WB Hall.
Yeah, that's actual news.
That's actually really exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
On that note, shall we do non-news, Steve?
Yeah, because it sort of directly relates to that. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't have this for
I know the actual news show.
But here we go. Non-news. So I'm doing this, man. I'm officially getting rid of the Cheez-Its. Because they were involved in a murder.
Wait, what?
They were in Cheez-Its. There was, I think a dad.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
Locked his family in a house and then burnt it down.
That's horrible.
Over a box of Cheez-Its.
That is horrible.
That's the headline. I have no idea what the actual context is. Like what, Cheez-Its didn't cause it. The dude is crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it has a negative connotation now. Cheez-Its is officially R.I.P. It's done. It's dead. So anyways, let's talk about this non-news. So Triple H had some words about Chyna. What did he have to say?
So he was on ESPN, or spoke with ESPN about the news of DX's induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. Spoke about Chyna. That's what he said. Look, people. Oh, you should actually do this.
Okay, I don't have it.
Here, 1 second. Do you have the notes up for today's show?
I'll just look over there.
No, do you have the notes up for today's show?
I'd rather just look.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
I have good eyes, man.
It's there.
LASIK.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that too.
Here we go. You could finance that shit, dude.
Yeah, I got enough debt already.
You should do it. I know you used to be freaked out by the idea of LASIK.
Yeah.
No more now? You think it'd be good?
I've warmed to it.
You've warmed to it? You're like, screw it, I don't care. Like, I'm a good case study. I am not a careful person. And Bama has whacked me in the eyeballs so many times that if my eyes aren't jacked up right now because of LASIK, then nobody's is. You'll be fine.
As always, because they just cut the flap off the top of your eye and peel it back, but it doesn't heal. It just relies on the moisture of your eye to keep it in place, and my left eye is just naturally kind of dry. So
you might want to double check that. I'm pretty sure my eyes have healed.
Well, that's how it used to be. That's how they used to do it. I don't know if that's still how they do it, though. Anyways.
My eyes are great. Like, if I try to flap them up, I don't think they'd flap.
Well, you might have moist eyes, so it's not an issue.
My eyes are great.
Anyways, continue.
Look, people believe what they want to believe. Boy, that's a heavy statement to come out with first. When I said a few years ago on the Austin podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, there's complexities around it, but absolutely, definitely deserves to be in there. It'd be tough to pick a female that was more impactful on the business. She did something that was completely so out of left field that it wasn't even being considered when we first brought it up for her to come in. It wasn't even a consideration. It wasn't an easy thing, and against all odds, she did all of that. She earned everybody's trust. She won over the fans. She won over the boys. She did all of it. From that standpoint, absolutely 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame and should probably be in more than once. As a group, but individually as well, more but better. There's more complexity to that than meets the eye. But here we are. I'm just happy that it's here. I'm happy for her family, the people she was close to, that hopefully this is something super meaningful to them. I know it would be to her. It's a great thing. Very deserving. I love that. I think he's got a lot of emotions for Chyna.
Yeah.
He used to date her, They used to do sex on each other. So I think that's fantastic. And I think he's right.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that
right.
he said it makes me think maybe that'll actually happen.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be. That could
It's
be
good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
That could be the thing. It's
good.
Could be the thing. Why is it we can't do a live stream without YouTube not letting us live stream?
Kulak says Larson get a TV with HDMI 2.1. Why? What's the appeal of it?
Larson get a TV with HDMI 2. Well, isn't he a cable guy?
Yeah, that's what, I don't know what the difference between HDMI 2.1 and HDMI
It probably
is.
communicates the information faster. But like, if you have a smart TV, you don't even need HDMI business, all that stuff.
Well, you just need from your cable box to your TV.
Well, for cable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's probably talking about you because you do cable.
Yeah, I do cable.
I don't do cable.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, that's good stuff. Alex C. says the math on Chyna might break the system. I don't think it would. I think she'd be probably a 7. Probably be a 7 altogether. Promo, not strong at all.
In-ring fun. Look, 10.
In-ring, probably like a 5. Look, 10. Promo, 3.
Legacy's high. 9.
Legacy's like a 8. Legacy. I mean, you got to take a couple off for the bad bits too. I'm not just talking about porn. I'm talking about the general the drug addiction stuff like that.
Then kayfabe, she was booked.
She
super
did sex
strong.
with Xbox sex tape. And then what?
Kayfabe's got to be 9.
Kayfabe's up there. It's 9. Yeah, dominant.
So 9 plus 8, 17, and then would we say in ring 5?
5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 10 is 18.
So
Divided
6
by 3 is 6.
6 plus 8 plus 8. So that's 22. Yeah, 7 plus.
Yeah, 7 plus. So yeah, good stuff.
Oh, it's great.
Let's talk about Ted Bundy tapes.
Yeah, I finished watching it.
Yeah, what'd you think? By the end, I mean, the real question is, by the end,
it's all messed up.
By the end, your opinion on Ted Bundy, yay or nay? Ted Bundy, yay or nay, Larson?
Hard nay.
Right?
Yeah.
I was shocked. I thought I was going to come away from this thinking, man, maybe Ted Bundy's a yay.
No, hard nay.
But he's a hard nay.
Man.
That dude, he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can call him a real person. He's like subhuman. What a pile of trash he was.
Yeah, something else.
Yeah. What was the most shocking thing to you in the Ted Bundy tapes?
I mean, I was somewhat familiar with the whole. The one thing I didn't know, I never knew he ended up in Florida. I didn't know that's where he got arrested. Yeah. I kind of knew, he kind of got started here in the West Coast, and I didn't know that one night rampage he went on. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
I think that was the scary thing for me, is that I never knew that he, number one, escaped 2 times. That second time was crazy. He just cut a hole. A little tiny hole.
No, the hole was there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There was like a little
flat little light.
There was there was a hole, I guess, for the light, and he just lost enough weight. He crawled up through there. It looked like it was maybe 10 by 10.
Yeah.
It was not a large hole.
No, it was tiny. It was really.
Might have been smaller than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he seemed like a pretty thin guy, anyways.
Yeah.
But it hardly looked large enough to get your shoulders through.
He dropped down to 140 pounds. Rob wants us to do math on Ted Bundy.
Oh, God.
Kayfabe pretty strong. Legacy, like in the negatives. It's like negatives. -5 legacy. In ring. I mean, he knew what he was doing. It's 8 in ring.
That stuff in the courtroom when he was defending himself was crazy.
Promo's pretty high.
But the investigator was there in the prosecution was saying, just speaking generalities of what you saw there. And then Bundy's like, no, I'm going to cross-examine this guy. And wanted all the details. Probably so he could relive it.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh, man. He messed up. I love when he got in there and started running down his own defense team.
Oh, I know. I know. It was interesting when the judge of his first trial was, after he sentenced him to death.
What was all that, effusive talk about him? Why was he saying, I truly believe that you're... Why are you saying such great things about this guy? He murdered a bunch of people.
Well, he said it's essentially it's a shame you turned out this way. By that, he meant a murderer.
Yeah.
Because he said, you seem like a really bright young man.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting.
He used all that bright young stuff to murder a bunch of people.
And then he says, I have no animosity towards you whatsoever.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That was weird. It sounded like the judge got charmed by Ted Bundy.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
And nah, man, you need to be better than that. You need to look through all that. You need to look at him and say, dude, You're a raging piece of shit. That's what you are. I have all animosity towards you. Man. Holy crap.
If he had just said, hey, it's unfortunate the way things turned out, I would have hoped that things could have turned out better for you because you seem like you are, a relatively smart young man. That being said, sorry, you're going to death row.
Yeah.
But then, it was I have no animosity towards you. That was interesting.
He should have been like, dude, you're the worst of them. You're the worst of them. Because you could have done something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know, man. When somebody, I'm sort of, it's an interesting thing to consider. I'll put it that way. It's an interesting thing to consider. We are all simply, this is my belief, the sum of the wiring and chemicals in our brain.
That's part of it. It's part that. It's part environmental.
Yeah. But a guy who's capable, I still like a guy like me, right? I think I'm pretty decently wired. I look at a bug on the ground and I don't want to crush it, let alone, I have murder thoughts. I don't think that way. Am I capable of doing that? Yeah, I think a lot of people are. That always cracks me up. That's one thing that Jeff's girlfriend Sarah mentioned. That's one thing everybody says. Everybody says about murderers they know. There's no way. I know him. Man, people are capable of a lot.
Yeah.
And they're also capable of being very deceptive in how they present themselves. But I do think that if you're capable of that level of what Ted Bundy did, if you're capable of that, then I'm not sure I'm not going to say he's not responsible for his actions. I think he probably deserved, as a human being, he probably deserves not to exist. Because if you let him exist, he's going to do horrible, horrible things. Mm-hmm. But in his brain, I just think that's what he was. And I think at that point, you're sort of beyond making rash decisions. You're beyond, oh man, I know what right and wrong is. Because clearly he's not wired to understand what right and wrong are.
Well, I think there's a difference between understanding of what right and wrong are and giving a damn.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he knew that murdering people was not the right thing to do, yet he insisted on doing it because that's what he wanted to do.
Look, here's the thing. I think it's a fascinating conversation to have, whether or not this guy ever could have not murdered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was he capable of not murdering?
Well, I think, if you go back in the narrative of his life, if a couple things had gone differently, it depends on what percentage of the nature versus nurture aspect of it. What percentage of what led to him being the way he was nature versus nurture. Mm-hmm. I mean, by all accounts, it seemed like he came from a relatively loving family. I think they mentioned that his grandfather might have beat him up.
Oh, that's what I gathered, that he was abused.
Yeah, as a young child.
Yeah,
until his mother remarried.
But tons of people aren't. They don't go on
murder
rampages like that. I mean, it's one of the fucked up things just about the human condition. It's like when your wiring is so off, are you really responsible for what you're doing? But if you're gonna do that, there's no place for you in society. It's like, oh, he's fucked up in the head. We can't really blame him. That's just how he was born. So let's just let him off. No, you can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
You probably have to put him down.
Or at least keep him in jail for the rest of his life.
Right, yeah. Man, I don't know, dude. That's a deep fucking conversation. Deep conversation to have.
Yeah.
Filled with science.
Yeah. And again, we're just a couple of idiots. So.
Yeah. But it is fascinating to me because somebody who's capable of so much. Like I was watching Dateline, for example. It's funny because you think that there might not be shades of gray, but there totally are. I was watching Dateline this past week, and this dude maybe got away with murder. Mm-hmm. He was the last person to be at his ex-wife's house when she got stabbed to death. There's might be some evidence to suggest that he didn't have time to do it, but then it's sort of a gray area. Mm-hmm. And apparently there just wasn't enough evidence to convict him, and so he was found not guilty.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I think for some people there's like that one emotional trigger where they can do it once and then never again.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's there's like Bundy seems pretty cut or dry. It was something in the wiring of his brain, a chemical imbalance.
He had to do it.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
compulsion within him to commit these crimes.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, a Dateline situation where usually it seems to be somebody who's a man who's in some relationship they don't want to be in anymore, and rather considering legal alternatives to getting themselves out of this relationship they don't want to be in, they decide that murder is their only option.
Yeah.
Like, why would you make that leap of logic?
I don't know.
How is killing someone like less of a blemish on you as a person than getting divorced?
Yeah.
That boggles my mind.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't understand the mental processes behind it. It's like, okay, I'm in this relationship I don't want to be in anymore. So rather than just getting a divorce, I'm going to go off and like pay someone to murder my spouse. I don't get that.
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all.
Because in those cases, man, you know the difference. You cannot do this. You could not do this. Just don't do it. But then, you know, you enter into, that's when people always say, oh no, he's not capable of something like that. I think there's a lot of people in this world. Dateline proves there are a lot of people in this world capable of some fucked up stuff, of making that weird leap in logic. Now, I don't think I'm capable of that. I sure shit don't think you're capable of that. But then if you get sent up for murder and you obviously did it, I'd be sitting here, man, I didn't think he's capable of doing it, you know? So,
well, that's one of the things, like the closing lines of the Bundy tape thing was, you know, people don't understand there's a lot of people out there that very well could be killers.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you will never know.
Yeah.
You will never know.
Yeah. And I think the ratio is pretty high. I mean, I don't.
So yeah, Thereth about us says life insurance for money. Like, people don't want to lose their money. You know what happens if you go to jail?
Yeah.
Buy money.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he gets to, it's inconceivable to me. Like, I always get freaked out. Here's how freaked out I am about seeing fucked up things. Is like, I'll drive. You know how I am with dogs. I like them better than people.
Mm-hmm.
I am terrified. Like, one of the things that scares me the most is, what would I do if I encountered a dog who's been hit by a car and is still alive on the side of the road?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could get out and try to deal with it, because then I'd be confronted with this thing that I just immediately love immediately. And I have to what? Take it to the vet, put it out of its misery. Like, what do I do? You know, I don't want to be confronted with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't hurt a goddamn fly. I don't like hurting flies. I couldn't imagine putting a knife through somebody.
Yeah. No, I couldn't imagine that at all.
God. Try living with yourself after that one.
Connor Mead here in chat says he's either is a criminologist or going to school to become one.
Oh, fascinating.
Criminology major here. He's talking. There's a discussion about whether Bundy was a sociopath or a psychopath, and many people are saying sociopath, which I think is accurate. And then Connor Mead says sociopaths tend to graduate into psychopathic tendencies due to learnt behavior and lust.
Ah, okay. So you let the feelings of your unders guide your way. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Thayer. Most people that commit any sort of crimes think they're going to get away with it. That's why they do it.
That's another thing. I fully understand. You know, I'm not a stupid person, but when it comes to committing crimes, I would be really bad at it. Mm-hmm. I would be horrendous at it.
You know, the thumbnails, the red circle you put around things to make it obvious. If I were to ever commit even the most minor of crime, the way I would conduct myself afterwards would be just me walking around with a huge red circle around myself.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, Michael Carlson. Yeah.
Oof.
Ouch. Oh God. Couldn't even. Don't even want to fathom it, man. And I'm like 40. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm supposed to be able to just walk up to a dog and be like, "Oh my God, it's misery." Mm-hmm. What do you do? Choke it? I don't know what the fuck to do.
Alex C. Was Manson a sociopath turned psychopath, or was he a psychopath from the get-go?
So okay, so the difference between sociopath and psychopath. Sociopath is somebody who has which one is it?
They lack empathy.
Lack empathy. Okay, and then psychopath is. What, somebody with murderous thoughts or something? Which one is when you hear voices?
A psychopath.
Yeah.
I think Manson's probably a sociopath, at least begin, because I think a lot of his issues were environmental, because he had a really bad childhood.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Charles Manson.
Oh, did he?
His mother was a prostitute.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember.
And then, like, he was abused, like, throughout his childhood.
What about HHH Holmes? I don't know what his deal was.
Oh, I don't know much
about
that.
That dude, he undertook construction to satiate his...
Is that the torture hotel guy?
The torture hotel.
Yeah.
That dude had a hotel just out there in Chicago just on the corner of the street. Hey, welcome to my hotel. Check in. And then, what kind of Yelp reviews does that guy get these days?
Probably bad.
Probably really bad. Man, oh man.
There was a period where I was doing a lot of reading on like a movie idea, so doing a lot of research on cult leaders.
Oh, sure.
About that narcissistic personality and
oh man, yeah.
Being highly charismatic.
Yeah. I have such a negative degree of that, and because it always boggles my mind that we have people watch our show.
Oh yeah. Honestly, we poke fun at it, and it amazes me that anyone would bother spending their time watching us talk about anything.
Right, exactly. I'd be negative cult leader. I'd be like, why are you guys here? Because we want to follow you, Steven. No, man.
Why?
Don't do that.
I'm like, why?
You want some poison Kool-Aid? Let's see here. Christopher has a wrestling question. He said, why is Stephanie not getting inducted? I mean, you look at Stephanie, Tori Wilson, Rick Rude.
What about Val Venus, Jeff Hardy, all the people that were supposed to join DX but never did?
All the people that Scoops.net claimed were going to join DX and never did. Yeah. Or even, weren't there some people who joined on the house show circuit?
Probably.
They were like...
Or I think that's NWO.
Oh, yeah.
Like DDP joined
DDP
Wolfpack.
joined Wolfpack, yeah.
Yeah, at a house show. But since it didn't happen on TV, it didn't stick.
Mm-hmm. Steve, do you still check the iTunes rankings? From time to time, I do, and I think it's going to take a little while. Well, number one, why do you ask? For the longest time, we were not.
I think it had to do with the labeling of our show.
The labeling of our show, yeah.
Jack Daddy Ref, Rich Hardesty, Jim Jones, psychopath, sociopath, or both. Started as a sociopath. He might have started getting more towards the psychopathic stuff because he was doing a lot of speed and stuff. He was taking a lot of drugs towards the end of all that.
Here's the brow. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Have you listened to any of the Dropout podcast?
No, what's that?
It's this lady who was like the youngest paper billionaire, I think. She had developed this blood testing device called Theranos, and she had cut deals with like CVS. She had like millions and millions of investors in her product, and the product did not work. But it was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and she was kind of crazy too. Like she would, she took heavy influence from Steve Jobs. She would wear black turtlenecks, and she even changed her voice for interviews. She would talk like this.
That's interesting.
Because she felt, or she read somewhere that women with high-pitched voices, they don't have the type of respect immediately as part of their packaging, if you will. But it's called The Dropout because she was a college dropout.
Oh, okay.
It's fascinating stuff. Talk about crazy people.
Interesting.
That, use their craziness for monetary gain instead of murder thoughts.
Yeah.
It is fascinating. That was really
Connor Mead says, anyone curious on why people commit crimes within terms of learned behavior should look up Bentham's pleasure versus pain theory.
Interesting.
How
they're connected, I guess. Let's see here. Top charts. I'm going to see. I don't think it's been a while since we've actually ranked, I think. Ron Burgundy's podcast. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Here we go. Podcasts. Let's see if we even rank. For a while, I was definitely using that as a benchmark, but once we started switching servers, I figured that it would probably hamper us a little bit. Yeah. Plus, there's look at how there's just so many podcasts.
Yeah,
out there.
there's
I think
so
that
many
was the thing
podcasts
also,
now.
is that even so many of the wrestling podcasts are like so low in the top 200 that I'm like, there's no way we get the numbers that they do.
Yeah. What the highest rated wrestling podcast is? Probably Talk is Jericho. He and Stone Cold used to always be neck and neck.
I mean, when JJ Redick has his own podcast, that it's like there's just a lot out
I heard
there.
his pretty good.
This is great. The
Edge and Christians is 52.
The Orvis Fly Fishing Guide podcast.
That's pretty high.
They're number 54. Something to Wrestle's number 48.
Oh, okay.
Jim Ross is 41.
Talk is Jericho's 36.
Yeah. If our audience, from YouTube, exclusively migrated to audio, I think we'd probably crack top 200. But these days, yeah.
Yeah, everybody does have a podcast now.
Yeah.
There's the thought it was a mental state of top notch. He's just highly neurotic. He's basically like the George Costanza of wrestling. Grand Theft Autotune says we should have a collective friendo podcast where all the friendos talk at once.
Oh, that's good.
Just a cacophony of friendos.
Just voices happening. I'm looking at individual episodes now and their rankings.
What's the top ranked individual episode?
Of anything or
Anything
wrestling?
in sports and rec.
Anything in
Rich
Eisen.
All-Star Weekend. I didn't know. He was on the NFL Network for the longest time. I wonder if he's still there.
And then Bill Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Another Bill Simmons. Another Bill Simmons.
Oh, wow. David Wondolowski says, math on Tanahashi. Would he be a 9? In ring, he's high.
In ring, he's like
his
really
look is
high.
great.
He's got a great look.
I just don't know a whole lot about his promos.
I know, it's so difficult.
Legacy's high. Kayfabe's high.
Yeah, Legacy and Kayfabe are high. Yeah, he probably. I mean, he's probably the Japanese Cena. Yeah. Like, I just don't know anything about his promos.
Well, let's do everything else. Ring.
Well, he's 9. Everything's 9.
9. Promo. Let's leave that blank for now. Look.
9.
9. Legacy. 10.
10 and Kayfabe's 10.
10.
Yeah.
So even if his promo's a 2.
Okay.
So that's 6 plus 26.
Even if his promo's a 2.
I'm just saying, but it's not.
We have
That's
to
the
give him
thing.
at least a 5 promo.
All right, 5. I'm not saying it is a 2. I'm just saying that like that's the lowest I would put it.
Yeah.
24, so that's 8. 28, that's 9 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might actually be higher than Cena.
I think he is. He's a better in-ring worker than Cena.
It's just Cena's. See, the big thing would be promos. Like, Cena's promos are so next level.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Cena's. Yeah, I just don't know.
I still feel like Cena's looks too high.
No way, man.
It is. There shouldn't be anything higher than a 6.
That's one thing I'll never budge on. His look is at least an 8.
No.
Because he also has part of his look is part of his like natural like charisma. Like,
No,
when
I
he
understand that.
looks
Yeah.
at you.
Then the highest would be a 7. Tons of charisma.
But then on top of that, you got the jorts and you got the colorful.
Yeah, that's what
merchandise.
knocks it down.
That brings it up.
Grand Theft Auto 2. We have done Okada. Okada's up there again. It's the promo issue. We just don't know.
Also, I just feel like his look isn't that impressive.
Man, his look is amazing.
Once he take off his, he just sort of looks like a normal dude. Who does the best air guitar? Technically, Bugenhagen does the best air guitar, but you have to take technicalities out of it because it's wrestling.
So here's the thing, too. Like when I look at people doing air guitar, like when he does it, it looks like you're going to an air guitar competition or it's about the performer. It's not like you're actually trying to play a song on air guitar. Whereas in that case, I would give the edge to Tanahashi and O'Reilly because it looks like they're actually strumming. They're actually picking notes from the guitar. More so Tanahashi than Kyle O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. Kyle O'Reilly doesn't move his hands really. He just picks with the...
I think you have to take a look at where the air guitar fits within the rest of the package.
Yeah.
With Bugenhagen, it's like kind of his entire thing.
It is his package.
That is his packaging. With Kyle O'Reilly, it was just one more thing to... Like, he looked like he was... I'll put it this way. Bugenhagen looks like he does it for everybody else. Kyle O'Reilly does it for him. Mm-hmm. Kyle O'Reilly does it because he feels how great he is.
It makes
and that's how he expresses it. Stevie Bradley. Steve, how do you feel about all the doppelgangers that we have found of you? Does it mean that you are the most 5-looking guy there is? Thoughts? Yeah, so if you look at young Tom Waits, young Bob Ross, what's his face from Metallica? Hetfield from Metallica.
James Hetfield, John Cena, Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
You.
And Steve. We all do have a distinctive... I don't know what that face...
But here's the thing: if it's so commonplace, it's not distinctive.
It's commonplace but distinctive.
No, I think it's just similar.
It's a look. It's a look.
Let's do New Day math. Rob Saw wants us to do New Day. I don't think we've done them yet. Maybe we have. In ring 8.
Yeah, that's a good point. There says Bugenhagen's air guitar lacks legacy.
Yeah. New Day promo
9.
Look 10.
9 look.
Their ring gear looks amazing. Legacy. I'll say 7 right now, but it's going to go up.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Kayfabe. They're the longest reigning tag champions.
7.
So that's 26 divided by 3 is 8 plus.
They're a high 7.
They're going to be, yeah, probably 14, 22. Yeah, 7 plus. But that'll go up. Legacy will go up. Kayfabe will probably go up too.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. Alex C says, one of my favorite things are common lookalikes where two people who don't look alike both look like someone else in common.
Oh.
Alex C says, for instance, I wouldn't say Sheamus and Steve look alike, but Hetfield and Sheamus do.
No, I don't see that. I don't see that.
I kind of actually do. I can kind of see that. Let's see if anybody else feels that way. Sheamus.
Patrick Sparks' thoughts on the ridiculous alleged affair stuff with Graves and Carmella. That's their own business.
My name's Bennett. Yeah, look, other people have noted it. I think that's the thing. Plenty of other people have noted it.
Oh.
So it's a common thing. Yeah, I kind of see that. Yeah, I totally see that now.
Maybe a little bit. And you got Jason Statham and Cesaro.
That's just because of their head.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, James Hetfield, Sheamus, and the Cowardly Lion. Definitely a thing. Anyways, that's it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Later on, we're going to have Wrestle Death 2019
Oh, yeah.
Steve W. Who will die? Talk to you guys later.
I don't know. You haven't told me yet.